Tactical AV here, and today we're looking at the Sony UBP X700 4K Ultra HD Blu Ray player. Let's get started. Easily named one of the best budget 4K Ultra HD Blu Ray players for Dolby Atmos and DTS:X. With sharper looking images and more vibrant, brighter colors than any other player I've ever seen, besides the Oppo UDP 203, which I've ultimately been comparing this player to. But this player does Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos as well as DTS:X like most other 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray players on the market currently. It isn't until we start actually comparing different TVs that we really see what high dynamic range is capable of and where it's been going in the last several years. But considering that the Sony UBP X700 is not the Oppo UDP 203, well, how does it stand up? And well, let's just say I threw a lot of different content at it over the last few weeks, and we really ultimately put it to the test together. But seriously, this 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray player failed at nothing I threw at it, and it did everything flawlessly, which was so surprising for the specific price point that it's at. You know, there was one thing I was really worried about when I bought my Oppo UDP 203, and that was the fact that 4K Ultra HD is super expensive, and well, it's going to take a little while to get it exactly evened out. And I was certainly hoping some companies would learn from some past mistakes, have some models on the market, see where they failed, and well, make some new ones and some improvements at that. And so it ultimately started with the Sony UBP X800, and a year later the X700 comes out. And while this year most of the stuff for home theater has been about the 4K Ultra HD movies, well, I really wanted to know if this one held up to other models. I decided to ignore some of the bad reviews I had seen about it where people had said that it would pause or freeze during playback, and well, I've never had anything like that happen to me with this. In fact, this player has operated so flawlessly that I've decided it's definitely something I'm going to keep, and, well, I hope that it works for years to come. But I'll let you guys know. Other than that, for around $150, you get a pretty tough unit. This thing is built like a tank in a sense of, well, there's really nothing else it has to do other than play movies and, well, get online. But it's ultimately in its picture quality, audio quality, and, well, the ability to hold up. Does it take a long time to load? Does it turn on quick? Does the tray feel flimsy? Is it made of metal? All those things you certainly can't compare to the Oppo UDP 203 or 205, but well, considering that you pay $150 for it versus $549 for it MSRP, considering the Oppo is now selling for $1,500 and higher, I'd say it does what it needs to do pretty well. If you had the most expensive Blu-ray player in the world set up next to this Blu-ray player, I don't think anyone could notice a difference. It isn't until we start switching out the TVs with the high dynamic range that, well, maybe then we could point out a thing or two. But until then, guys, I'll happily be using my Sony UBP X700 as a secondary 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray player in any one of my rooms. I've found it to easily pass Dolby Vision as well as Dolby Atmos through, and had no problems with video or audio quality whatsoever. But I wanted this video to be more about the quality of the player versus, well, taking a look at the player itself. But I can confidently tell you that I didn't have to do anything to get it to play Dolby Atmos, like changing the secondary BD audio mix setting to off, as with the Sony X700 had when it originally came out. It definitely had a firmware update that needed to be performed as soon as I plugged it in, and well, after I did that, everything was working wonderfully. And I think that's one of the keys with these Blu-ray players is that you constantly keep them updated. However, as long as you do, I don't think you're going to run into any issues as long as the companies stay open and running and producing that device. Well, that's all I have for you today, guys. In my book, I give the Sony UBP X700 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray player a 5 out of 5 stars. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care. Don't forget to subscribe as well.